The prison of Rhaz'Kor was not made for humans. It was built deep under black alien mountains, where the light never reached and the air tasted like iron. The strongest criminals of many worlds were locked here, murderers, hunters, and war beasts. No one survived long. No one stayed sane. And no one walked in with hope, but one human did. His name was Marcus Hawley, a former engineer, now a prisoner. He was dragged into the prison by two tall alien guards. Their armor was covered with old bloodstains that never washed off. They pushed Marcus forward, laughing in their rough language. "Put him in the Huntress block," one guard said while smiling cruelly. "Let the women enjoy a new toy," the other replied. Marcus heard them, but didn't react. His face stayed calm, almost empty. His brown eyes did not show fear. Not even a little. The guards didn't like that. Most prisoners begged, screamed, or cried when they heard the name Huntress block. No human ever survived one night in there. The Huntresses were deadly alien warrior women captured from a wild tribe. They were strong, fast, and known for killing any male sent into their cells. The guards used them as punishment, but Marcus walked forward as if he were entering a quiet room. Inside the block, the air was hotter, thicker, and smelled of sweat and anger. The guards opened a heavy steel door and shoved Marcus inside. The door slammed behind him with a loud bang. The cell was huge, almost like a cave, with dim red lights glowing from the ceiling. Inside were three alien women, the famous wild Huntresses. Sira, the tallest, had dark blue skin and glowing silver eyes. Her sharp teeth reflected the red light. Varine, the fastest, had black stripes on her arms like a tiger. Her tail moved like a whip behind her. Keshka, the quiet one, had long silver hair and eyes that never blinked. They were all deadly. They were all staring at him. The moment Marcus entered, the Huntresses stood up slowly, like predators who found new prey. Their muscles tensed. Their claws extended. Sira took the first step toward him. A low growl rose from her chest. Varine circled to the right, watching his every move. Keshka watched silently from the shadows, her eyes sharp and calculating. They expected Marcus to scream, to run, to beg, but he just stood there with his hands at his sides. His quietness confused them. Why does he not fear? Varine hissed. Sira tilted her head. Maybe he's broken already. They approached him slowly, testing him. Sira reached out and pushed him hard. His back hit the wall, but he still did not speak. Varine stepped closer and placed a sharp claw under his chin. "Human," she whispered, "do you understand where you are?" Marcus finally spoke. "Yes," he said calmly. "And I am not here to fight you." The Huntresses froze. No one had ever spoken to them like that. Before they could react, a loud alarm rang. A metal door inside the wall opened, dropping food trays onto the floor. The guards laughed through the speakers. "Let's see how long the human lasts." One shouted, "Place your bets." Another said that the Huntresses glanced at the guard's camera, then back at Marcus. This moment usually ended with blood, but something unexpected happened. One of the trays rolled towards Sira's foot. She moved to pick it up but winced. Her leg was wounded. A deep cut wrapped around her thigh, still bleeding from a fight the day before. Marcus saw it. Without thinking, he stepped toward her slowly. The Huntresses all tensed, claws ready, but Marcus raised his hands gently. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said. Sira growled and tried to step back, but her injured leg shook. Marcus quickly grabbed her arm, not to attack, but to stop her from falling. The entire cell fell silent. Even Keshka, the coldest of the three, leaned forward in surprise. Marcus tore a piece of cloth from his prison shirt and wrapped it around Sira's wound. His hands were steady, his touch gentle. Sira's breathing slowed. She did not push him away. Varine watched with wide eyes. Keshka's tail moved with interest. No human had ever touched a huntress without dying, and no huntress had ever allowed it. For the first time, something soft passed through Sierra's eyes. "You... help," she whispered, confused. Marcus nodded once. "I don't want enemies in here." The Huntresses looked at each other, unsure what to do. Their instincts told them to kill, but their hearts turned cold by years of violence, felt something new. Respect? Curiosity? Or maybe connection? Marcus stepped back and sat on the floor, giving them space. He did not act like prey. He did not act like a fighter. He acted like someone ready to survive with them, not against them. Sierra felt her chest tighten. Vareen felt her claws lower. Keshka finally stepped into the light. The guards watching from above were stunned. "Why isn't he dead yet?" One guard shouted. But the commander of the shift leaned forward with a dark smile. "This human. He is different. Keep watching." Inside the cell, the three Huntresses circled Marcus again, but this time, not like predators, more like... Something was awakening in them. And Marcus lifted his head slowly, meeting their eyes with calm strength. "What do you want from me?" Sierra asked quietly. Marcus replied softly, "Maybe we can help each other survive." The Huntresses exchanged looks, and for the first time in the history of Rhaz'Kor Prison, the wild Huntresses didn't attack. They listened. The guards thought the Huntresses were only waiting for the right moment to kill Marcus. But inside the cell, something very different was happening, something no one in Rhaz'Kor Prison had ever seen. After Marcus helped Sierra with her wound, the three wild warrior women kept watching him like confused animals. They did not understand why a human would show kindness, especially inside a death prison. Marcus sat calmly on the floor with his back against the cold wall. He did not move unless he had to. He did not challenge them. He simply existed like a quiet flame in a dark room. The Huntresses didn't attack him that night. But they didn't trust him either. Sierra was the first to step closer. Her silver eyes studied Marcus carefully. "You helped me. But why?" she asked. "Because you needed help," Marcus replied. "And I don't want to fight. Not you. Not anyone." Sierra's jaw tightened. In her tribe, nobody helped without taking something in return. Kindness didn't exist. Vareen moved in next, circling Marcus slowly. Her striped arms glowed under the dim red lights. "He is hiding something," she growled. "Humans always hide something." Marcus didn't respond. He simply lifted the food tray toward them. "Eat. You need strength." This confused them even more. Huntresses never shared food. They always fought for it, but Marcus pushed a tray toward them before touching any for himself. Keshka, the quiet one, spoke for the first time. Her voice was soft but cold. "You are strange for a human." Marcus gave a small tired smile. "I hear that a lot." The three Huntresses slowly sat at a distance, still watching him with sharp eyes. They ate while keeping him in sight. Their wild instincts were screaming warnings, but something inside them whispered curiosity. For the first time, they weren't acting like predators. They were acting like a pack unsure of a new member. The testing begins. The Huntresses did not sleep at night. Instead, they tested Marcus in strange ways. Vareen walked close and poked his shoulder with her claw to see if he reacted. Marcus didn't flinch. Sierra tried to intimidate him by roaring loudly right next to his ear. Marcus blinked but remained calm. Keshka dropped down from the ceiling and landed silently behind him, waiting for him to jump. He didn't. None of their tricks worked. "Why does nothing scare you?" Vareen hissed. Marcus shrugged. "Fear wastes energy." The Huntresses exchanged confused glances. They respected strength, but they also respected control. And Marcus had both. But in a quiet way, they didn't understand. The first 5 hours passed before something changed. A group of violent alien prisoners slipped through a broken gate in the hallway during shift change. They were large, brutal creatures known as Rhaz'Kors. They hunted anything weaker than them. and they smelled a new victim inside the Huntress block. The door to the cell shook violently. Metal bent inward. The Huntresses jumped to their feet immediately. Their instincts awakened, fangs out, claws ready. Marcus stood up too, but unlike them, he had no claws or fangs. Only his mind. The Rhaz'Kors burst into the cell. 4 of them, each twice Marcus's size. Vareen rushed forward with a roar. Sira smashed one into the wall. Keshka moved like a ghost, slicing at another's legs. But one Rhaz'Kor bypassed the Huntresses and charged directly at Marcus. Thinking he was the easy kill. He wasn't. Marcus stepped aside smoothly, grabbed a broken piece of pipe from the floor, and slammed it into the Rhaz'Kor's knee. The creature collapsed with a scream. The Huntresses froze again. Humans weren't supposed to fight like that. Sira hurried to Marcus's side, placing herself between him and the collapsing alien as if protecting him. "You are not weak," she said breathlessly. Marcus didn't answer. He was watching the Huntresses instead, how they moved, how they fought, how they protected each other, and something inside him understood them more than he expected. Within minutes, the Huntresses defeated all 4 Rhaz'Kors. Their bodies lay unconscious on the floor. The guards finally arrived, shocked. "What is this?" The guard captain growled. "How did the humans survive?" The Huntresses stood around Marcus like a shield. "He is with us," Sira said without hesitation. The guard captain stared at the strange formation, the human in the center. The 3 Huntresses around him like a protective triangle. Something was wrong. Something was changing. The first opened when the guards dragged the Rhaz'Kors away. The Huntresses returned to Marcus. "You fought with us," Vareen said softly, almost respectfully. "You protected our backs," Keshka added. Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead. "You protected mine first." The cell grew quiet. Then, something unexpected happened. Sira placed her hand on Marcus's shoulder, a gesture of acceptance among Huntresses. "You stay with us," she said firmly. Vareen hissed. "He stays near me." Keshka narrowed her eyes. "No, near me." Marcus blinked, confused. The Huntresses looked ready to fight each other, not for food, not for territory. But for him, something had shifted forever in that first night. The prison guards watching from above didn't understand it yet, but the Huntresses did. They were no longer testing Marcus. They were beginning to choose him. The morning cycle began inside Rhaz'Kor Prison. But the Huntress block felt different, strangely calm, almost warm. The red ceiling lights hummed softly as Marcus woke up on the cold floor. He opened his eyes to find something unexpected. 3 alien faces staring at him. Sira, Vareen, Keshka, all crouched close. All watching him like he was the most confusing creature they had ever seen. Marcus blinked. "Morning?" The Huntresses didn't answer. They simply stayed close, studying him like protectors guarding a rare animal. A new Tiraritoy the night before had changed everything. The Rhaz'Kor attack, Marcus fighting beside them, and the strange bond that followed. All of it left the Huntresses unsettled. Sira finally spoke, her voice low. "Human, you wake slow." "That's normal," Marcus replied, stretching his shoulder, which still hurt from the fight. "You 3 don't sleep at all?" Vareen scoffed. "We hunt at night. We only rest when prey is gone." Keshka leaned closer, her silver hair falling across Marcus's arm. "You are not prey." This sentence made Sira and Vareen snap their heads toward her. "Not prey?" That was more than a compliment. It was a tribal declaration. Marcus sat up, confused. "Good to know, I guess." The Huntresses stepped back slightly, but their eyes stayed locked on him. Something strange was bubbling under their fierce behavior, something wild, instinctive, and possessive. The first argument as the food trays dropped from the wall. The tension finally snapped. Marcus reached for a tray. So did Sira. Their hands touched. Instantly, Vareen growled. Keshka narrowed her eyes. Sierra pulled the tray toward Marcus. "He eats first," she said firmly. "No," Vareen stepped forward. "He stays with my food." Keshka crossed her arms. "Both of you are wrong. He sits near me." Marcus froze. What is happening right now? The three huntresses glared at each other. It wasn't about food. It wasn't about territory. It was about him. They were choosing. And huntresses only chose once in their lifetime, be it a leader, a partner, or a pack member. Sierra placed herself in front of Marcus. "He helped me first. I choose him." Varen's tail whipped in anger. "He fought beside me. I choose him." Keshka stepped dangerously close, her tone cold and final. "He risked his life for all of us. So he belongs with me." Marcus held up his hands. "Wait, nobody belongs to anyone." The huntresses stared at him as if he had said something impossible. In their culture, belonging meant protection, loyalty, survival. Outside the cell, guards watched in shock. Are they fighting over the human? No way. Huntresses don't get attached. This is bad. Very bad. But the fight inside the cell wasn't violent yet. It was tension, emotions, instinct. Marcus slowly stood up. "Look, all of you kept me alive last night. I'm not choosing sides." Sierra frowned. Vareen hissed. Keshka's eyes narrowed. But instead of attacking him, they stopped arguing and surrounded him again like a defensive circle. A silent agreement passed between them. If they couldn't claim him individually, they would claim him together. The training begins later that day. The huntresses began testing Marcus again, but this time, it wasn't to see if he feared them. It was to teach him. Sierra made Marcus practice quick movement, stepping side to side. "Your reflex slow. Must be fast to survive." Vareen taught him how to dodge using their tribal footwork. "Don't move like human. Move like shadow." Keshka showed him how to read threats with his eyes. "Focus here," she said, tapping his forehead. "Your mind is weapon." Marcus tried, failed, tried again, and failed again. But he didn't give up. The huntresses respected that. They corrected him, pushed him, challenged him. And for the first time in their lives, they laughed sharp, quick, surprised laughter. The guards watching from the screens whispered, "It looks like they're training him? Why? Humans are weak, not this one." Protective INST test late in the cycle. A group of regular prisoners passed the huntress block. One of them spat toward the cell. "Oi, human pet. How long until they eat you?" Before Marcus could react, Vareen lunged at the bars with a vicious snarl. Sierra slammed her hand against the wall. Keshka's eyes darkened like a storm. The prisoners ran away terrified. Marcus sighed. "You didn't need to do that." Sierra stepped close, her voice almost gentle. "We protect Pack." Vareen nodded firmly. "We protect you." Keshka finished the sentence with quiet certainty. "And you protect us." Marcus didn't argue. Because deep inside, he knew it was true. The ASCNCIO, and as the cycle ended, the huntresses did something no one expected. They kneeled around Marcus in a half circle. Sierra placed her hand on his shoulder. "Human, you are no longer outsider." Vareen placed her clawed hand on his chest. "You are part of Hunt." Keshka rested her forehead against his arm. "You are chosen." The prison had an old rule. When huntresses choose, they never let go. Marcus exhaled slowly. "Then I'll survive with you," he said. The huntresses stood, proud and fierce. From that moment on, Marcus Halle was no longer just a human prisoner. He became part of the Huntress pack, and the prison would never be the same again. Rhaz'Kor Prison was waking up. But something felt wrong, very wrong. Guards whispered in the hallways, wiping sweat from their foreheads. The cameras in the Huntress block showed something that should have been impossible. 3 wild alien warrior women standing protectively around a human, Marcus Halle, The guard captain slammed his fist on the table. This ends now. Bring the human to the warden. Inside the cell, Marcus had no idea what was coming. He sat cross-legged while the Huntresses sharpened broken metal pieces into makeshift blades. They weren't preparing to escape. They were preparing to protect him. Sierra looked up suddenly. Guards coming. Marcus frowned. How do you know? Varine tapped her striped ears. We hear heartbeats from far. Keshka's tail curled with tension. Many guards. Not good. Marcus stood slowly. I'll handle it. Don't attack unless you must. The Huntresses stared at him in disbelief. You? Handle guards? Sierra asked. Marcus nodded calmly. I'm not letting anyone hurt you three. Those words made all of them freeze for a moment. No human had ever said something like that to Huntresses. They didn't know what to do with this strange feeling inside their chests, but before they could respond, the steel door slammed open. 7 guards marched in with shock batons and pulse rifles. The captain pointed at Marcus. Human. The warden demands you, now. The Huntresses instantly moved in front of Marcus like a wall of teeth and claws. No, Sierra growled. He stays, Varine hissed. You touch him, you die, Keshka whispered with dangerous calm. The guards stepped back instinctively. Marcus quickly stepped forward before the situation exploded. It's okay, he said softly to the Huntresses. Let me go. Sierra grabbed his arm. Hard. You leave, they hurt you. They won't, Marcus replied. Because they need something. What? Varine asked. Marcus met her eyes. They need to know why you haven't killed me. Silence hit the cell. Keshka clenched her jaw. We come with you. No, Marcus said firmly. If you come, they'll start a war. The Huntresses hated it, but they stepped aside, their eyes full of instinctive fear and anger. As the guards dragged Marcus away, Varine roared. If they harm him, we burn this prison down. The captain shivered. He believed her. The walk to the ward. Marcus walked through long metal corridors. Prisoners from other cells stared at him, shocked. Some laughed. Some whispered. But most looked confused. Is that the human the Huntresses didn't kill? Impossible. Maybe he controls them. Or maybe they want him. Rumors spread like fire. When Marcus finally reached the warden's chamber, 2 massive steel doors slid open. Inside was a circular room filled with screens, showing every corner of the prison. And in the center stood the warden. Tall, pale, 4 arms, eyes like cold knives. Warden Cather. He smiled without warmth. Human, Marcus Hawley, you have caused disruption. Marcus stayed calm. I was put in a cell. That's all. Cather's lips curled. A cell that kills every human who enters it. Marcus said nothing. The warden walked closer, circling him like a scientist studying a new animal. The Huntresses protect you, he said. They listen to you. They fight for you. Why? Marcus shrugged. Ask them. The warden struck him across the face with a metal glove. A sharp crack echoed. Blood ran from Marcus's lip, but he didn't fall. Didn't blink. Didn't even look away. The warden leaned close. Answer. Marcus looked him straight in the eyes. I survived because I treated them like people, not animals. The warden froze. The answer was too simple, too clean, too dangerous. Because if Huntresses could be tamed through respect, then everything Cather believed about control was a lie. The outer warden stepped back and raised a hand. Bring the Huntresses here. The guards hesitated. They won't come quietly, sir. Cather snarled. Then drag them. Guards ran out instantly. Marcus's chest tightened. This was exactly what he was afraid of. Cather turned toward the screens and watched the Huntress block. They will attack when you leave. They will kill guards, so you must break them. Marcus narrowed his eyes. I won't hurt them. You will, Cawthor hissed. Or I will kill you. Marcus's heart pounded, but his face stayed calm. He had survived worse. He would survive this too. The Huntresses arrived moments later. The chamber doors burst open. The Huntresses were dragged in by chains, snarling and kicking. Sira was bleeding. Vareen had 3 guards hanging off her. Keshka's eyes burned with deadly rage. The moment they saw Marcus, they went silent. He was standing, hurt, but alive. Cawthor raised his voice. Huntresses! Attack the human! The order echoed like thunder. Sira's fists clenched. Varen's tail lashed wildly. Keshka stiffened in confusion, but none of them moved toward Marcus. They moved toward the warden. Cawthor stepped back in shock. What are you doing? Sira snarled. We attack only those who harm our pack. Vareen hissed. He is our choice. Keshka pointed her claws at the warden. You are enemy. The guards panicked. The warden screamed. Stop them. Kill them. Marcus stepped forward, voice steady but loud. Don't. Stop. The Huntresses froze immediately. Every guard in the room gasped. Even the warden stared in disbelief. The Huntresses listened to Marcus. Instantly. Without question, Marcus breathed deeply. No killing. Not today. The Huntresses stepped back, obeying him completely. The warden understood something terrifying. He didn't control the Huntresses anymore. Marcus did. And that made him the most dangerous man in Rhaz'Kor Prison. Fear spread through Rhaz'Kor Prison like wildfire. Not because of a riot. Not because of an escape attempt. But because 3 wild alien Huntresses, Sira, Vareen, and Keshka, had defied the warden. For a human. No one had ever seen anything like it. The guards pushed Marcus and the Huntresses back into their cell, slamming the doors shut so hard the walls shook. Marcus was bruised from the warden's strike, and the Huntresses were covered in fresh cuts where the guards tried to control them. As soon as the door locked, Sira rushed to Marcus and gently held his face with her clawed hands. You are hurt, she whispered. Marcus gave a small smile. I'm fine. I've had worse. Vareen paced in circles like a furious tiger. I should have ripped the warden apart. Keshka watched Marcus with cold, burning eyes. They touched you. That cannot be forgiven. Marcus raised a hand to stop them. I told you not to kill anyone. And you listened. Thank you. The Huntresses looked at him silently. In their culture, trust was rare. Obedience was earned. And no human had ever earned theirs. A strange new hours passed, and the Huntresses grew restless. They couldn't understand the feeling in their chests whenever Marcus was hurt or threatened. Sira sat close beside him. Vareen kept checking the door for danger. Keshka stood silently in the corner, eyes glowing with protective focus. Finally Sira spoke. Human. Why do you risk yourself for us? Marcus shrugged lightly. Because you risk yourselves for me. That is different, Vareen snapped. You are our choice. Our pack. Keshka stepped closer, her voice soft. But we are not your people. Marcus looked at each of them carefully. You 3 treat me better than the guards. Better than most humans I've met. That's enough. The Huntresses exchanged a look, something between shock and emotion. Keshka turned away quickly, as if hiding a reaction. Sira blinked slowly, the way her species expressed softness. Varen's tail flicked with nervous energy. Something she never allowed anyone to see. The prisoners begin to anodiike word. Spread through the prison faster than electricity. The Huntresses protect the human. They obey him. He looks fragile, but something about him is dangerous. Even the criminals who hated humans watched him with new respect. But not everyone was pleased. A rival group of alien prisoners, the Iron Fangs, began plotting. Their leader, Garok, a massive alien with metal bones, snarled when he heard the rumors. A human controlling Huntresses? Impossible. We break him tonight. His gang nodded. But they didn't understand something. Marcus wasn't controlling the Huntresses. They were choosing him. The Huntresses COMPT later. Inside the cell, a strange tension grew. Sierra sat close to Marcus, speaking quietly. Your wound. Does it still hurt? Before Marcus could answer, Vareen slid in between them, pushing Sierra aside. I take care of him. You fight too rough. Sierra growled, offended. You think I break him? You would break a rock, Vareen shot back. Keshka rolled her eyes and pulled Marcus away from both of them. He needs peace. Not your noise. The argument began. Not violent, but territorial. Marcus held up his hands. Please stop fighting over me. I'm not choosing sides. The Huntresses froze. Their eyes lowered slightly. They hated that sentence. They hated sharing him, but they respected his words. Still, something wild and possessive rested in all three of them, and it would only grow stronger. The plot in the DR. When night fell, the prison lights dimmed. Most prisoners slept, but the Iron Fangs did not. Guruk whispered to his gang, we take the human now. Kill him before the Huntresses realize he is missing. They moved silently toward the Huntress block, carrying crude weapons made from broken pipes. Inside the cell, the Huntresses were asleep, or at least pretending to be. Huntresses never truly slept. Their ears twitched. Their noses tracked scents. Their claws rested lightly on the floor. Marcus slept against the wall, breathing steady. Suddenly, Keshka's eyes snapped open. She smelled blood. Not Huntress blood. Not Marcus's blood. Enemy blood. She whispered sharply, wake. Sierra's eyes glowed instantly. Varen's tail rose like a spear. They listened. Footsteps. Soft, slow, intentional. Many coming, Vareen said. 12, Keshka corrected. Kill? Sierra asked. Marcus woke up at the worst possible moment. What's happening? Sierra leaned close. Enemies come for you. Marcus stood, still half asleep. No killing, but it was too late. The door lock clicked. It opened half an inch, and a metal bone fist reached through. Trying to grab Marcus. The Huntresses exploded into motion. Sierra smashed the arm so hard bones cracked. Vareen dove forward with a roar. Keshka slit the intruder's wrist with one clean swipe. Guruk screamed, stumbling back. The cell filled with chaos. Marcus shouted, stop! Don't kill, push them back. And they obeyed. The Huntresses didn't kill, but they fought like storms, slamming, throwing, breaking weapons. Breaking pride. The Iron Fangs fled in terror, some crawling, some crying. Not one of them touched Marcus. A shift in POW after the failed attack. The guards arrived late, shocked by the scene. The Iron Fangs were half broken on the floor. The Huntresses looked like goddess warriors guarding a throne. Marcus stood in the center, untouched. Sierra looked at him proudly. They tried to take you from us. Vareen smirked. We showed them their mistake. Keshka said quietly, they will not come again. Marcus looked at the three of them. You saved me again. Sierra shook her head. No, human. You saved us. When you made us stop killing. The Huntresses understood something new that night. They were not just protecting Marcus. They were becoming better because of him. And that made him more dangerous to the warden than any weapon in the prison. The prison was no longer the same after the Iron Fang attack. Rumors twisted through the halls like snakes. Whispers floated from cell to cell. The human controls the Huntresses. No, he leads them. No, he changed them. Every guard felt on edge. Every prisoner watched carefully. And the warden was planning something dark. Inside the Huntress block, Marcus and the three alien warriors sat close together. The air felt thick, weighting, heavy. The guards had started doubling their patrols outside the cell. Even the lights seemed brighter, Like the warden wanted to keep the Huntresses under pressure, Sira sensed danger first. She paced around Marcus like a protective shadow. "Warden scared," she said, sniffing the air. "Good," Vareen growled. "Let him fear." Keshka sat quietly, sharpening a thin metal shard. "Fear brings mistakes." Marcus studied their faces. They weren't wild anymore. They weren't confused predators. They were warriors, his warriors, ready for anything. But something troubled him. What if the warden tries to separate us again? He asked. Sira halted instantly. Varen's claws dug into the floor. Keshka's tail stiffened. "No," Sira said. "Never again." "They will not take you," Vareen hissed. "Not while we breathe," Keshka added. Marcus appreciated the loyalty, but inside he knew something else. If the warden wanted to break them apart, he would try something extreme. And he was right. The warden's TRA the next cycle. Without warning, alarms blared through the prison. Red lights flashed. Heavy doors slammed shut. A metallic voice echoed. "All cells prepare for isolation check." Isolations were rare and deadly. Before Marcus could speak, the cell door burst open. 6 guards stormed in with shock chains, firing nets and heavy shields. "Sira! Vareen!" "Keshka, don't!" Marcus shouted. But the guards moved too fast. A shock chain wrapped around Varen's arms. 2 nets pinned Sira to the floor. Keshka dodged one attack but was caught by a second shock baton. The Huntresses roared loud, desperate, furious. Their strength shook the walls. But the shock weapons drained them, forcing them to their knees. Marcus pushed forward. "Stop! Stop hurting them!" The captain aimed a baton at Marcus. "Human, stand down or you die." Marcus didn't step back. "You can't separate us," he said sharply. "You'll make things worse." The captain smirked. "That's exactly the plan." He turned to his men. "Take the Huntresses to isolation cells. The human goes to solitary." The Huntress's eyes widened with raw fear they had never shown before. "No!" Sira howled. "You touch him, I kill you." Vareen screamed. Keshka thrashed violently. "Marcus! Marcus!" But the chains were too strong. Marcus was grabbed by 4 guards. They dragged him toward the door. The world felt slow. Sira slammed against her restraints, blood spilling from her wrists. Vareen bit through a guard's armor but was shocked and thrown back. Keshka crawled across the floor, reaching out, whispering, "Don't. Take him." Marcus tried to move toward her, but a guard hit him hard in the stomach. He fell to his knees. He could hear their screams behind him, anger, fear, desperation. And then the door closed. Darkness swallowed him. Solity HFY Marcus was thrown into a tiny room the size of a closet. No lights, no sounds. Just cold metal walls. Hours passed. He didn't know how many, but the silence was eventually broken. A voice crackled through a speaker. "The warden, you broke my control," the warden said calmly. "So now I break yours." Marcus breathed slowly, trying to stay calm. "You won't win this," he said. "Oh, human." The warden replied, "You don't understand yet. The Huntresses are in isolation cells, shocked, weak, alone. They will blame you for their suffering." Marcus's jaw tightened. "No, they won't." "We'll see," the warden said coldly. "I'm going to make them fear you, hate you, and when they break, I'll enjoy watching them tear you apart with their own hands." The speaker clicked off. And for the first time since he entered Rhaz'Kor Prison, Marcus felt something like fear, not for himself, but for them. The breaking PO hours later, the prison shook violently. The guards screamed. Alarms wailed. Metal tore. Marcus stood up. Boom. Boom. Something was smashing through the walls. A voice echoed, wild and furious, "Where dashes dash our dash human?" Marcus's heart jumped. Sire. Another roar shook the ground. Varyn. Then a chilling whisper. Break. Everything. Keshka. The chains hadn't broken them. They had broken the chains, within seconds. The solitary cell door ripped open like paper. Sira stood in the doorway, breathing hard, covered in broken metal and sparks. Varyn's claws glowed with electricity. Keshka's eyes were full of cold fire. Marcus exhaled a mix of relief and awe. You came for me, he whispered. Sira lifted him gently. Always, Varyn growled. We kill Warden now. Keshka nodded. He heard our pack. Marcus shook his head. No killing. Not yet. We escape first. The Huntresses paused. Then slowly. They nodded. Because Marcus had become more than their choice. He was their leader. And with the prison shaking around them, they were ready to follow him into war. The walls of Rhaz'Kor Prison trembled as if the whole building knew something impossible was happening. 3 wild Huntresses had broken free, and they were ripping through steel to reach one single human, Marcus Halle, when Sira, Varyn, and Keshka burst open the solitary cell. The air felt alive with electricity. Marcus had never seen them like this, eyes glowing, bodies tense, hearts wild with rage and fear for him. Sira grabbed his arm gently but firmly. You are safe now, she whispered. Varyn's claws sparked with leftover electricity from the shock chains she had broken. No guard touches you again, she growled. Keshka placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder, her voice soft but trembling with emotion. We came as soon as chains broke. Marcus looked at them, his strange, fierce protectors, and managed a small smile. I knew you would. That one sentence made the Huntresses pause, their breath catching in their throats. He trusted them. Truly trusted them. And that changed everything. The escape begins. The hallway outside the solitary block was chaos. Guards ran in panic, alarms flashed red, and the smell of smoke filled the air. The Huntresses formed a tight triangle around Marcus, guiding him toward the exit while keeping every threat away. Sira led the front, smashing through shocked guards. Varyn moved like lightning, kicking weapons from their hands. Keshka stayed behind Marcus, whispering warnings. Left. 3 guards, right. 2 more rushing. Marcus didn't fight, he strategized. We need to disable the lockdown system, he said. If we don't, the outer walls will seal. Where is the system? Sira asked. Control room, Marcus replied. Top floor. Varyn hissed. That is where Warden hides. Yes, Marcus said quietly. We'll face him there. The Huntresses exchanged a look, fierce, ready. United. Then we go, Keshka said. They moved through the prison like a storm, too fast. Too strong, too coordinated for anyone to stop. For the first time, Marcus wasn't just surviving with them, he was leading them. The control. The top floor was guarded by elite soldiers, heavier armor, bigger weapons, no fear. They blocked the hallway with shields and guns raised. Stand down, their commander shouted. Human, step away from the monsters. The Huntresses growled in unison. They are not monsters, Marcus said sharply. They saved me. Move aside. The commander laughed bitterly. You're brainwashed. Marcus stepped forward. No, just treated better than you ever treated them. The soldiers opened fire, but the Huntresses moved at the same time. Sira leaped forward, smashing into shields. Varyn rolled under the shots, kicking legs out from beneath armored guards. Keshka used her speed, cutting wires, disabling guns, knocking soldiers unconscious. It wasn't killing. It was precision. Marcus had taught them restraint, and they obeyed. Within minutes. The hallway was clear. Sira turned to Marcus. You lead. We follow. Marcus nodded and opened the door. Inside the control room stood Warden Cather. He wasn't smiling now. You ruined everything, the warden hissed. They were weapons, tools, and you broke them. No, Marcus said. I freed them. The warden lunged forward with a shock spear, aiming for Marcus's heart, but he never reached him. Sira pushed Marcus aside and took the hit electricity crackling through her body. Vareen roared and slammed into the warden. Keshka sliced the spear in half with her claws. Marcus rushed to Sira's side. "Sira, talk to me." She gritted her teeth. "I live. I am Huntress." Even in pain, her eyes softened when she looked at him. The warden crawled backward, fear in his voice. "They listen to you." "But why? What are you?" Marcus stood slowly. "I'm human, and I treated them like people. That's all." He pulled the main power cable from the control console and jammed it into the warden's own security shield. The warden froze, inside a containment field, powerless. Trapped, the prison alarm stopped. The lockdown ended. The escape path opened. The Huntresses stared at Marcus not with surprise, but with pride. "You are clever," Keshka whispered. "You think like leader," Vareen said. "You lead like warrior," Sira whispered. Clinging to his arm, Marcus exhaled. "Let's go home." The final argument as they reached the outer gates. The wind hit their faces, cold, wild. Free. Outside lay the vast forests of Rhaz'Kor, unknown territory. Unknown dangers, but the Huntresses didn't fear anything outside these walls. They only feared losing him. Sira stepped close. "Where you go, we follow." Vareen added, "You protected our hearts. Now we protect your life." Keshka rested her forehead against Marcus's shoulder. "You are pack." Marcus looked at all three of them. "You saved me every time. Now we survive together." The gates exploded open. Together, a human and 3 deadly alien warrior women ran into the night, not as prisoners, not as predators, but as a chosen pack, a new family. The legend of the human who tamed wild huntresses had only just begun.